It's a good one.
I'm going to go the long way. Aloha mai kako. I want to thank everyone for showing up today, which is hopefully going to be the first of a very long series that we are referring to as the Builders Spotlight. And the whole intent on this is to really shine the spotlight on local builders as well as some of the manufacturers that build, so that we can share their innovations, their techniques, their methodologies, the thought process of their design with the world. Because we know that somebody who's built for 20 years and 350 ukulele, he's maybe learned a few things along the way. So this Builder's Spotlight is part of the Hawaiian Music Archives project at the Hawai'i State Archives. And the Hawaiian Music Archives project is our attempt at starting to bring together the immense amount of music-related materials that are held at the Hawai'i State Archives. We've always had music, but it's been scattered in many different locations. And so for the first time, we're trying to bring it all together under one searchable umbrella to make it much easier if you come and want to know. And since we started this project a little over 2 years ago, we've added about 28,000 pieces of recorded Hawaiian music, and we're approaching about 1,000 vintage ukulele. So we're very, very blessed that the community has been supporting us in absolutely unprecedented ways. We've digitized over 600 phonographic records, 78 RPM records. We've indexed them, we've cleaned them, and that's all been done by the community. It's all been done by volunteers like you. So we do ask that please look in your closet, in your attic, in your basements. If you have ukulele, if you have sheet music, if you have method books, please consider donating them to us. We would love to add them to the collection so that we can, really the goal is to build the premier research institution on Hawaiian music, and particularly the ukulele right now. Although I have to admit, we do have some steel guitar stuff as well. So eventually we do hope to move into that. And if you don't have any materials, you know, we will take cash as well, so that's fine. The difficulty with 1,000 vintage ukulele is a lot of them need to be repaired, because our goal is to make every single one of them playable, so that when we have vintage concerts, we'll be playing Kingdom era music on Kingdom era instruments. That will make these instruments available to the public to be able to come in and experience it them for themselves. And we're very excited to share with you that we've already started to have an impact. We had a PhD student doing a thesis on early 20th century Hawaiian music methodology. She spent 3 weeks here from Germany. And we just got an email from another PhD student from Malaysia who is focusing on using ukulele for keiki education. She's coming for a week as well. So we're starting to have an impact, and we're starting to really move it out. So you didn't come here to listen to me. So let me please introduce the man of the hour, Manny Halican, building under the Pahu Kani label. So he will be talking about these incredibly innovative, beautiful instruments. He would never say this himself, but in my mana'o, he is one of the most inventive, innovative, fearless builders that you're ever gonna meet.
Yes.
Because the methods that he uses, the styles he's developed, even the choice of materials is really outside the box. He's pushing the frontier, and we need innovative people like that to continue to evolve what we think we know about ukulele. He's way too humble to say that, so I will say it. And keep in mind, we have 1,000 ukulele, so we've seen a lot, and this really stands out. And I really want to thank Uncle Kimo Hussey. He came up with this idea. It was his brilliant idea, and he has very graciously offered to host this and moderate it and try to pull some more stuff out of Manny. So we're going to look at the instrument, get a little description about it, hopefully get some ideas about why did you do it this way, and then these two amazing artists are going to play on these instruments so you can hear the differences in the style, the shape, the construction materials. So without further ado, please allow me to turn it over to Uncle Kimo, and please enjoy.
Thank you. Thank you so much for coming and sharing your valuable time. I want to tell you right off the bat that I am not a builder. But I've spent I've spent a whole lot of time talking to builders, because the more I talk and learn about their craft, about their building instruments, the more I am able to apply to me being a player. I've played a lot of ukes in my ukulele career, and in the last 20 plus years, every single uke that I've played, I've taken the time to learn and spend time with the builder, just talking story about that. And so the reason why I do this, I think, is the reason why you choose to build, or you choose to play, or you choose to do anything. And that one thing that keeps me in ukulele, because I've been at it a little over 7 decades now, is fun, having fun. You know, when I was only this high, I used to love the kanikapila. At the time, I didn't know how to play, but all the people who came, they did it just for fun. It wasn't planned. People just came to visit, you know, sit down, play music. And that's so wonderful, especially in a day and age when we're busy all the time. Isn't it wonderful to learn about a craft and activity whose purpose is to just let us have fun? I gotta tell you, you're gonna be very happy that you came this afternoon, because this is gonna be fun. The 6 ukes you see in front of you have all been made by one man, and that's Manny Halican. So what we're gonna do is, the first thing we're gonna do is we'll go through all of these 6 ukes individually, and Manny is gonna tell you about them, and you will see why they're all very different ukes. And then after that, what I'm gonna do, because I represent the player cadre, what I'm going to do is play a short passage for you on each of these 6 different ukes, so you get an idea of how they sound individual. There are no 2 ukes up here that sound alike. And then after that, what Manny and I are going to do is play these ukes in ensemble. We're going to play 2 ukes at a time, so you can get an idea of how these ukes sound played with another ukulele. See, a lot of times in kanikapila, we don't have opportunity to do that. Kanikapila is so wonderful for us that when we gather to play, that adrenaline starts to flow. And as we go on and we have more and more fun, eventually what we do is we start pounding on our instruments to the point where we don't even hear the instrument. And you know what? There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. All we're trying to share with you today, and sharing is important, all we're trying to share with you are some ideas that you might employ on your own to have and enjoy more fun in playing the ukulele. Importantly, extremely importantly, we have opportunity to work with the Honolulu Archives. As you know, ukuleles and building ukuleles have been around for a long time. And there have been times previously when other people have tried to combine the activity of building and playing in order for us to find ways to enjoy ukulele more. And one of the things we're finding with ukulele's rather new association with the archives is what a wonderful, wonderful way for us to preserve that information for people who come after. Okay, we're going to start. Let's start with, now we'll start on your side, Manny. We'll start on your side. Let's start with this uke. Manny, can you tell us about this uke? 6 strings, that's how it sounds. And this is what Manny had in mind when he built it. Go ahead, buddy.
Yeah, 6 strings. And then it just falls in place what I do. not pre-taught. So it's a tenor body, 6-string extended scale, 19 inches.
And the scale is from here, the nut, to here. Okay, good.
Yeah, and the top is a European moon spruce. And I don't know why they call them moon spruce, but I believe, harvest them when the moon is full. And the back and sides is core.
Sides, and it has a sound port, and sides has a sound port here. Let me ask you a quick question. Is there anything that strikes you as being weird about this picture on the top? No? Okay. No more puka. That's right. We're accustomed to the sound hole being here. But one of the things you're going to see with all of these ukes is the incredible creativity that Manny has brought to bear in all of the instruments that we see. How many of us would expect that one of the pukas, you know, we've already seen this puka and this one, but how many of us would expect to see another puka in the back? In fact, we should call this puka in the back ukulele. Go ahead, buddy.
There's a story behind the 3 pukas. Yeah. So since I took the puka off the top, I put it in the back. The puka on the top, when they bolt the necks on, that's the excess they get to the bolts to bolt the neck. So when I took the puka off, I no more excess. So I put the puka in the back. And then it doubles as a sound hole.
Isn't that cool?
Then the 2 sound holes on the side, I use that to clamp my bridge. I stick my clamps in there to clamp the bridge down when I put the bridge on.
And you know, the pukas naturally is where the sound comes out. So when you hold this thing against your body, sound coming out the rear puka. It's great for indigestion. Okay, Manny, tell us about zero fret. What that is. Zero fret, by the way, is this fret right up here. We're generally not accustomed to seeing 0 frets on instruments, but why do you use them?
I like it because that's 0 fret means 0 level, dead, and that's the lowest the string height can go at the nut. I don't need to adjust and file and aim at the certain level.
Can you in the back see the 0 fret? Let me get a little bit closer. Yeah, the 0 fret is this one right here. Okay, keep going, buddy. Sorry.
Yeah, so that 0 fret takes the place of the nut, and it's the lowest action you can get at the nut. And it's perfectly level. Whereas the other way, if you use a nut, you got to file it and be on the money at every string height. This, I think, is a lazy way.
As a player, the reason why I love the 0 frets is that every single 0 fret ukulele I've played, the action has been wonderful. You know, those of you who play ukulele, sometimes when you play like F or B flat or a chord that's close to the 1st, 2nd, or 3rd fret, you have to press down real hard. And it's because of you know, the considerations that go on here. But in my mind, a 0 fret erases all of that, and I love the 0 fret. Isn't that fascinating? Okay, before we go on to the next instrument, what we decided to do is to allot just one question on each of these ukes, so we don't spend a whole lot of time. And there'll be opportunities for later on for questions. One question on this ukulele. Go ahead.
Are the doubling of the strings as traditional as other 6 strings?
No.
There, one of the things about Manny, I can tell you from a player standpoint, is there are not a whole lot of things that are traditional.
I think the traditional doubles is the C and the A. This one is doubled on a G and a A.
And then, speaking of traditional, and maybe going in a different direction, not because traditional is wrong, it's just add to it. Like to share with you this ukulele, and I'll let Manny explain to this because there is something very, very special about this ukulele. Go ahead, buddy.
It's a kitchen countertop material that you cook on and cut meat or whatever, vegetables. Corian.
Isn't that cool?
It's basically a plastic man-made material. And then I found out that corian can be bent with heat from this guy, Mike Chow. Long years ago, when I found out you can bend corian.
Why do you use corian?
Why?
Mm-hmm.
Because I can.
That's it.
And
Exactly.
yeah, a corian, you know, you just go to any counter shop and ask them to look in their trash can, and you can take all the scraps. No need much to make an ukulele.
And that's a wonderful thing about Manny being kind of non-traditional. Manny, his creativity is unreal. And Manny will do things like put a sound hole in the back, just as like something to do. So this is corian, and in a little bit we'll play something more. Okay. Keep things fair. Let's use an ukulele on this side. Let's see. We did one falcate. Let's do this little guy. And you know what? This thing's Mighty Mouse. Because you see as small as it is. Listen to this. It's pretty awesome, isn't it? Okay, Manny, go ahead, buddy.
It's a soprano body. Yeah, same with the moon spruce and callback and sides. Puka in the back
Puka in the back.
for the bolted neck. The two sound holes on the side to clamp the bridge. The fretboard is Kialve. And it's a 5-string extended neck, concert neck on the soprano body.
One of the things I'd like to point out to you about this uke is Manny's side ports, which is basically a puka in the side, is not just cleanly a puka. He finishes the inside. So here's this puka, and inside on the side it's finished, and it's wonderful. We'll get to listen to this guy in just a second. Okay. Is there a question about the long neck soprano? Nope. I'll ask you a question, Manny. Why the long neck on the soprano?
Because I can.
Get used to that as being a Manny answer. Okay. Beautiful, isn't it? Look at that. Look at that. No puka in the back. And another side port on this side. So 2 side ports. And the rest of it, we'll let Manny tell you about it. Go ahead, buddy.
Yeah, the top is mango. Back and sides is core.
Cool.
The neck is tiger maple. And I think the fretboard is Macassar, ebony.
What do you call it? Cool.
Yeah.
Okay. It also has a 0 fret. And why why did you double the 2 outer strings like you did?
That,
This string and this string are doubled. in octaves.
So that was a mistake because I planned to double the the two low strings, and make them octave to brighten the low sound of the baritone. But the tuners, I put it on the wrong. It's supposed to have 4 tuners on the top and 2 tuners on the bottom. So when it's divided like that, I couldn't do it. So I gave it to Adam.
But it sounds beautiful, isn't it? Question on this uke. Question on the pineapple. Go ahead.
No puka in the back, how did you attach that neck?
Glued on.
Just,
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Well, I'm here. We did that. We did that. We haven't done this yet, have we? No. Okay, Manny, go ahead, buddy.
The all core, the core top came from Maui,
Beautiful, isn't it?
and the back end size came from Big Island.
Side
Says-
port. Side port. Puka in the back.
There's a maple neck, and pretty much 90% of my ukuleles, the headstock caps and bottoms is all Korean. It's so easy to do, and I'm kind of lazy too. So
This scale is extended. Yeah?
19-inch, yeah.
I want to tell you a very special Manny story. I've known Manny for a long time, and I was down at his house one day. We were just talking story and talking about ukes. And as I was leaving, I saw this uke that he had hanging on the wall, and all that uke was doing was collecting dust. So I pulled it down and strummed it a little bit, and really liked what I was hearing. So I bought the uke from Manny. And as I went home and played the uke, I realized that the uke sounded very stressed. And I also came to realize eventually that the reason why it sounded so stressed was the strings were too tight. The strings are too tight. So what I did was, if the strings are too tight, I loosen them. Because when I got the uke, it was tuned GCEA. So I decided, okay, the way to make them untight is to down-tune it. So I down-tuned it to B flat 6. And so the notes for B flat 6 are F, B flat, D, and G. And it sounded great. So I contacted Manny and said, Manny, when it's tuned to GCEA, why is it so tight? And I found out it was because of the scale. Because the scale generally, tenor ukuleles have a 17-inch scale. And so this ukulele that he made had a 19-inch scale. But the strings were the same as, regular strings. And when you tuned it, because the scale was a little bit longer, that's what made the strings very tight. So we down-tuned it, and that solved that problem. But then out of interest, because I enjoy low G instruments, totally, we decided to down-tune a regular tenor low G uke. And man, I thought the sound was great. But then in talking to Manny, we decided that, or Manny decided that he was going to make more tenor ukes with a 19-inch scale. Because with the 19-inch scale at the time, and still now, there are some strings that you can use, so you can tune the uke either down lower to B flat 6 tuning or to GCEA. And because of that, what I have personally come to learn is that in terms of dimensions and sound, a 19-inch tenor uke is almost exactly between a baritone and a tenor. And what I liked about that is that I've always been like a low and mellow person rather than high and bright with the ukulele. And it's not a matter of good or bad. It's a matter of sound preference. And so after that, Manny started making more 19-inch tenors, and you know, even some of the cake companies started to make some, not totally, but some 19-inch tenors, which this is. So we'll get to hear this guy a little bit later. One question on this ukulele. Go ahead.
What's the binding?
Corin.
Can you see the
Yeah.
binding from that far?
I can see that there's binding, I just
I
can't.
use a lot of Corin.
Okay.
Even the one that's colored
It was easy.
See that?
Oh, yeah, that's pretty, wow, that's like a double.
Anybody else need a close-up view? Okay, when we're done, you'll be able to come up. So let's move on. Okay, we've done these, and we've done these two. Okay, we're down to the last one, aren't we? Yes, this one, right? Yeah. So as you look at this, what do you suppose this uke's name is? I'll give you the first word, the. What's the second word? The rose. Okay, buddy, go ahead.
Kaloke, yeah.
Kaloke.
The top is myrtle from Oregon. And that's not really the color. I dyed the top.
Pretty.
The color, the natural color is a greenish tan brown. And then when I don't know why I dyed it. But when I dyed it, all the ribs standed out. So I was like, wow, that's cool. So I left it.
It is cool. You see that here? Aloha. Come.
Oh, no, I'm gonna shoot video.
Oh, that's okay too.
Yeah, I'll stand back.
But if you get tired of standing, there's some chairs up here.
Thanks. Kimo, it's me from yesterday.
I see that. Hello, me. Nice to see you again.
See you too.
You late?
Yeah, you're late.
Okay. Let me do some stuff back here too then.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, and backhand size is core. I forget where I got it from.
Back.
And the little blue thing in the middle is the rot of the wood. That when I got the core, it was gone, the middle. So I wanted to use it, and that was one of the ways. It's poured in resin. And I want,
So it's a filler, yeah?
yeah, it's one of the ways I could use that piece.
Pretty cool, isn't it? I personally really enjoy this ukulele. Manny finished this ukulele in, what year, Manny? I can't see.
I don't know. I
Oh.
forget.
Anyway, it
ago.
was a long time ago, and I said, Manny, do not sell this uke. Just so that every time I visit him, I can play it. Okay, one question about this uke. Any questions? Go ahead.
Okay, I noticed the sound holes are different sizes. How did you decide about what size? Because they're different sizes. Yeah.
That's correct.
There's no decision. I just do them. No decision.
Yeah, I just make
I approach uke building unscientifically. So I do them how I do them. That's all.
Okay, to go ahead. But
I'd like, I think Manny should explain more in detail about his side ports. That's one thing for me that really sets Pahu Kani apart from every other ukulele, is that it's more than a side port. To get that side port in, it's a solid block already carved, and then you've got to put that in as once the sides are bent. But Manny can
okay, go ahead, Manny.
Yeah, it starts off as a block, a solid block, and then I trace the curve, try to get the curve to fit, and it's not a simple thing. Test fit, test fit, test fit, test fit, sand, test fit. Then once you get this curve fitted, now you gotta get that hole in there. So that takes a lot to get that hole out. But it's time consuming. I think the end product is satisfying when you look at it compared to the work you do. And it goes the same with all the blocks. They all start off as a solid block, shaped to fit the shape of the ukulele. Then everything is done by hand with whatever I get at my disposal to use. I use grinders, Dremel tools, anything,
Whatever
files.
works.
Yeah, it's not a easy process. Otherwise, a lot of people would do it. I don't mind doing it.
So the depth of his side port is the depth of the original starting off of the block itself.
Oh.
Yeah.
So as you get into 1.5 inches or whatever deep, that's a lot of puka you gotta make to enlarge it, and it's a lot of handwork.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
I just want you guys to know that.
And this doubles as a cutaway, so you can get around the
And
edge.
as a cutaway, it works great. Okay. Okay, so those are the 6 ukes.
Manny, I have one question for you.
Yep.
So we have 6 beautiful Pahu Kani up here, and from the outside, you can see some similarities, right? The materials might be different, corian, spruce, you have some koa, walnut, and so forth. Are we on the inside of these instruments, you touched on it briefly, we're in essence looking at 6 uniquely braced and uniquely created instruments. Are there any duplication of processes that are going on in here, or are these entirely unique and one-off instruments?
No,
On the bracing
no, the bracings. There's a couple of them that's identical. The one on the end and the 6-string is my latest. The bracings I got from my friend over there, Sente Archangel. It's a Falcate style bracing. I don't know nothing about it. I just got the information off of him, and I'm still learning to do it. But they're the Falcate system that the book too big, I don't like to read, so I let him read, and he gives me the answers. But you know, that's the whole thing about our ukulele community is the sharing part.
Sorry, Manny, before we go any further.
There we go.
For those builders who have not seen the Falcate bracing, this is what it looks like. And this bracing style has received quite good reviews from the UGG builders. Sorry, buddy, keep going.
So is there a kind of like, for you, a favorite style of bracing or something that's grown on you, or you just love experimenting with everything under the sun?
My last, I had a lot of favorites. The Kasha was for one. Kasha is really beautiful. Too much bracing, plenty work. Then came the Sonic V, the Taylor. That was so simple. But when I got a hold of the Falcate, this guy bring the Falcate, and man, that took everything away. The difference to me, the sound level and clarity of the strings was, so I guess if you ask me today, that's my favorite.
Okay, sure. Okay, so
Can I ask one question?
of course.
Manny, when you play this one, I don't know if I've seen you play this one, but how did you figure out what we're gonna finger? Guitar fingering? Ukulele fingering? Because it's kind of a baby or a match between the two, and I mean, I've seen you play your baritone style, but with a B-flat tuning,
You play the same chording and same.
according to same as,
Well, you're playing one step down.
And
So
play C and
yeah, so you gotta sing one step down. I mean, you gotta do everything one step down because
how
that
is
thing
it
is
when
too.
you take it to Kanikapila with others, or is this something that
No, there's I don't understand it. He likes
Yeah,
that. I don't understand the chording.
Yours is a good question. And if a person takes this to a kanikapila or plays with somebody else, they need to understand, you know, what this B flat tuning is. Just as much as if a person plays a baritone, you know, and people are generally playing tenors, you know, the person playing the baritone has to understand. But basically, with this instrument, the chords and the chordings look the same, but the names are different than a tenor. And the names are one full step below the tenor. So you're on the C on a regular tenor. If you play that same, what looks the same on this uke, it's a B flat. Does that help? Yeah, cool.
I understand that. But I just wondered, you know, where do you take it? You just only play it by yourself?
Yeah.
You know, everybody else tunes around you?
If
or
you
what?
take this uke to a kanikapila, make somebody else play them. Okay, listen to these. These are the differences in sound in all these instruments. Whoa, the countertop. Oops. Let me get my right hand there. There. And then here. And then here. So, what I'm going to do now is play a passage for you, a short passage, and it's going to be the same passage on each of these ukes, so you get to hear the differences in each uke. And the passage is Ode to Joy by Beethoven. Bum, 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 bum. That one. Yeah, you guys know that one. Yeah. Oh, wait. So here comes that passage on, and this is the 4-string falcate bracing. This is a brand new instrument. Oh, thanks. Man, it's nice to have a helper. Make sure that thing's pointed at the ukulele, not the player. Now, I wanna give this ukulele one other do. As you can tell, this ukulele has a huge sound, right? But one of the wonderful things about ukuleles that have big sound is the softs. Because if you have big sound, you also have more range, dynamic range, sound range, so you can play softer softs. Listen to this. Isn't that cool? And people, this is available, not only in this uke, in any uke. Dynamic range, remember that. because a lot of times, you know, when we go to Kanikapila, the extent of our dynamic range involvement in the music, even tempo, is just. But any ukulele will obey if you ask it to play softer. Play softer. Yeah. So, range, dynamic range, and it's available to all of us, and all we gotta do is use it, because this kind of stuff is available in all of your ukuleles. Oh, here comes a tutu man. So you see, one of the things about double string ukuleles is that they add body to the sound. And you know, if you like that, fine. If you don't like it, fine. The other thing about multi-stringed ukuleles, 6, 7, 5 strings, 8 strings, is it's your choice as a player, or the choice of a creative guy like like Manny, to figure out which strings are going to be doubled. Because even if you build an 8-string uke, and you're going to double all 4 strings, you got to decide if you're going to double those strings in octaves, or just use the same string. The result to us as ukulele players is variety. Variety in the kinds of sounds that we can create. And you know what the best thing about that is? Cannot have just one. Gotta be plenty. Because of all these different sounds we can get. How's that for an excuse? Oh. This is an incredible ukulele, our kitchen counter. Isn't that cool? Corian. Oh, I love this ukulele. It has such a cool sound. Oh, isn't that beautiful? I gotta do that again, sorry. Okay, and this is the other falcate. And just to review, this one got puka in the back. So this guy got 3 pukas. 1, 2, 3. The other difference between this and the other falcate is this is a 6-string, and the other falcate is a 4-string. Okay. Now we're going to experience something that for Manny and I is very, very special. You know, And I want to tell you that what Manny and I are going to do now is available to all of you. All of you. And all you have to do is have another friend who's an ukulele player. That's pretty easy. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna take these 6 ukes and we're gonna play them in ensemble. We're gonna play them 2 at a time. And what this does is to provide you opportunity to hear ukes played in ensemble. Because remember, one of the things we said about normally kanikapila is we want to get that adrenaline going because that's good fun. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. But if you just give the opportunity of listening to your ukuleles, no need to buy another one, except for these. But anyway, just listen to your ukuleles. And you know, when you get together, kanikapila, sometimes during the break or before or after, ask somebody to play with them. And play in a way that you can hear what you're doing. Because, you know, good fun. Okay, so, first thing we're gonna do, hey, you know what? We got our magic list here, man. This is our menu in typical wonderful print. Kanikapila can print. Okay, Manny. First song we're gonna do for you is Nani Kauai, and Manny's gonna play the rose, and I'm gonna play. Manny, I'll put this where you can see it because I have a hard time reading it.
What make you think I'm gonna get easier to do?
Because you're younger.
I'm right behind you, brother.
Yeah. Both Manny and I are seniors, but he's the junior senior.
Vintage.
Yeah, vintage, that means old fart. Wait, hang on. Okay, shoot.
Nani.
No. Nani Kauai.
Nani Kauai. See? Don't make me. Nani Kauai.
Manny's right.
Brain fart.
Da 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 da. First, I want to tell you, as we do this, notice that we're not pounding on the ukes. And sometimes, I'm only playing one string at a time. But we can all hear clearly what the song is all about. We can also hear clearly the sound of the ukulele, you know, as opposed to boom, 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 boom. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. But we want to expand for ourselves the various strategies we can use to get more wonderful music. Hey, you know what, I gotta tell you, one of the wonderful things for me to see from my perspective, and this is cool, is toes and feet moving while we're playing the music. Good for you. Keep going. Okay, the next is, next we're gonna play Lei Nani, and Manny's
Playing the rose.
The
and you
rose
playing
again.
The falcon.
Falky for, okay. Well, or we just repeat that.
Yeah.
Because I like this uke. Hang on. It's on Lei Nani. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, now we're gonna play the soprano.
And
That's me. 6th string. That's me. Play the soprano. Those of you familiar with Hawaiian music know that Manny and I, in the interest of saving some time, we're only playing the first verse and the Hawai'i. Isn't that a great idea? What is wonderful. Shoots.
wrong song. I'm 70
Aina.
Aina ia mai ka puana. One ana o se kukuli.
Okay, we're doing Haina Ho. Haina Ho. Hey, Pablo.
Aina ia mai ka puana. One ana o se
You know, one of the wonderful things about Hawaii and us who enjoy music, we'll sit comfortably and courteously like you do and listen to somebody play music at you. But after about 3 minutes, you like to play too. Isn't that great? So again, all we're doing is providing opportunities for us, all of us, to learn about building, to learn about playing, to learn more about what we do and enjoy the music in order for us to have more fun doing it. Okay, now what we're going to do?
Now kaua mai.
Oh,
Yeah, we do in different order.
yeah.
Yeah. Someday we'll get it right.
Okay, what key? Same one.
Same, yeah.
Shoot. To Kawohamai. Huh? Oh yeah, it was worth the trip. Okay, Manny, what's the next?
Napuali ilima.
Yeah, because we did know Hopaipai.
Yeah, that's the last one.
It is?
Yeah.
Did we do Kealoha? Okay, we're going to do
Oh, we
Le'i.
know Duke.
Let's do Kealoha. Shall we do Kealoha?
Yeah, okay.
Okay, but here's the deal. We'll do Kealoha if you guys help us sing. Remember, we're not doing the interior verses, you know, just one and a hyena. Pretty easy, huh? Okay. And Kealoha, what am I playing? I'm playing the pineapple.
Oh, yeah. Someday we'll get it right.
We'd invite you to come play with us. Some of the tunings I'll jam on. You know, in fact, in terms of variety and creativity in the 6 ukes, we're using, let's see, baritone tuning, C tuning, B flat tuning, and that's it, right? So 3 different tunings out of 6 ukes. So you know what? You got to be careful if you take one of these 2 kanikapila. You got to play soft. Okay. Wait.
e ala ona ona ko no ke ano ahi ai makupoli mai oe e kui po aloha e ala ona ona ko no ke ano ahi ai Aina mai ka puana e kui po aloha e ala ona ona ko no ke ano ahi ai Bring home. Bring home. Yep. Aina mai ka puana e hui po aloha ke ala ona ona ko no ke ano ahi ai
Okay, we'll do,
Oh, the last one.
yeah, the tuning. This next song is the last one. Again, sorry we didn't include the interior verses on these songs, so otherwise we'd be here till tomorrow. Say again? Oh, no. What uke am I playing?
You can play the falcon.
On Lady Lima?
Yeah. Oh, I don't know. Play what you like.
Except you took the one he likes.
A little louder.
Manny already took the one that
Two ladies down tuning it. Okay, I'll play this one again. What Manny is doing is one of the things available to all of us in Kanikapila is to use different tunings. And that's what Manny is doing now. He's down tuning the uke to play more conveniently, and I don't know what key, we'll figure it out. But it's another thing that you can do with ukulele, because if you change the tuning on any ukulele, you change the sound. And so this is the sound that Manny really likes. The other thing that's very special about what we're about to do is play two baritone ukes. Because with regard to ukulele, a baritone uke is about as low and mellow as you can get. So you would think that if you combine the sound of two ukuleles, both of which are low and mellow, and you can't get any lower and mellower on a baritone uke unless you down tune it. So what we're doing is we're totally immersing ourselves, Manny is, in low and mellow. Give you also opportunity to listen to two baritone ukes. Okay, hang on, buddy.
Got him?
Yeah. Okay, so we've we're almost to the end of our program, which Adam will end for us. But first, I want to say, please, if there is one thing that we want for all of us to do as a result of these kinds of gatherings that are going to continue, hopefully over a long, long period of time, is for all of us to participate. Participate how? In the process of making music. Because you know, one of the wonderful things about ukulele is it provides us and our friends, anybody and everybody, opportunity to easily get into the process of making music. Not listening to somebody play for us, and that's fine, but for us to participate. And that's the key. Because, you know, there are several ways to enjoy music. One of them is, you know, to go to concerts, and in our situation, watch guys who are really fabulous ukulele players play. But the thing is, we can also participate in the process itself, rather than watching somebody else play to us. And we would highly recommend and ask that you do that. Participate in this process of making music. And please remember our state archives, because that is a wonderful, wonderful tool that we can use to take and record all of the wonderful information that we have, because the information that we shared with you today, other than Manny's creativity, is all available to us, and it has been for a long time. We just haven't found the right methodology until now to combine that. Adam, can we ask you to end our session, buddy?
I would be happy to. Do we have any questions? Any questions? Because we still have some time left. We don't get kicked out of here till 4 o'clock. So, anybody?
Go ahead.
It's so the people online can hear.
That's good.
I'm just curious, as a player, one, do you notice any difference with the moving the sound holes to the sides? And two, on the one where you said the ukulele strings felt stressed, could you not use guitar strings?
First of all, let me address the first part of your question that had to do with differences in sound from the sound hole, and that's exactly why I like to play different ukes, because they're different sounds. The importance of different sounds in ukuleles is for us to decide, of all the sounds that are available, which ones appeal to us. Because if you can identify a sound that appeals to you, you can also find an ukulele that'll provide you that sound, guarantee. And the degree to which you know, you look for that ukulele online in one of the commercial outlets, or befriend an ukulele builder for different sounds. But the answer to your question is yes, there are absolutely different sounds on all of these instruments. But I don't ever look for the ultimate instrument, because it does not exist. There is not an ukulele made that'll satisfy every player's wants or needs with regard to ukulele. And yet, that is one of the wonderful things about it, is because the different sounds are infinite. And the second part of your question was?
The guitar strings for the long neck, the 19-inch, you see the ukulele strings felt really stretched out. Could you?
Oh, when I talk about the ukulele that was stressed,
Yeah.
what I meant with that is that the strings were so tight that I could tell that the sound was stressed. I could also tell that if that ukulele had stayed in that state for a while, it was going to implode. The bridge was going to come off or something. It was going to do something to relieve that stress. So all I did and all we try to do in any ukulele that we build is to reduce the stress on the top as much as we can. But on the top, and you know, Bill is going to explain that a little bit better. But the best way to do that is go to a building class or talk to the builders about that. Great question.
So
Thank you.
let me add to that. Why the ukulele was hanging in my shop full of dust? Because the thing sounded shitty. And I left it there, and he found it, and he picked it up, and he improved it. I mean, that's, you know, the 19-inch scale, I never heard of it. I just did it because I wanted to do something below the 20-inch scale of baritone. And when I strung it up, it sounded terrible. So I hung it on a nail and left it there. And it was full of dust, and he came over one day and he pulled it off.
So I want to pick up on a comment that Uncle Kimo said. You know, there's an importance to having different ukulele for different sounds. So with your life partner, when you bring home that 7th or 8th or 9th ukulele, you can say, but Uncle Kimo said.
Yeah, that's right. You can tell them.
Any other questions?
Manny, so,
No scared, no scared.
okay, so, what was the first ukulele you built, and do you still have it?
I still have my first one hanging on my office wall. I'm not going to sell it or get rid of it. It's probably going to end up with one of my grandkids. But the first one I built had so much mistakes, and I found out how to fix them. I know where the mistakes are, but you know, to the naked eye, it's hard to find. But I know I had about 3 or 4 different mistakes, and the tuners are all crooked, and I left it like that.
So was it a concert or a soprano?
It was just a tenor, a regular 17-inch tenor. The bridge was faulty. The neck, I put overlays to cover up all the mistakes I did. But it plays. Some kid gonna be happy. But it's the first one I made, so I'm kind of proud of it. Yeah. And the teacher I took the class from and learned how to put the ukulele together is Mike Chop's student, one of his students. He was teaching at the adult education classes in the high school.
Way to go, Mike.
So
you know what Manny just said about Bill is not too different from players. And the first time you go to a Kani Kapila, you're scared. You know, you're a bit scared. Oh boy, I don't know that song, or you don't know a chord, you're not sure. No matters. Just keep going.
it gets better the more you do it.
That's right.
I'd like to add that building ukuleles, the secret is fix your blunders. If you can fix your mistakes are an opportunity to be creative. Once you can fix those mistakes, you probably can fix the next one you made. And a series of building is, you're going to blunder a lot all the way through. I mean, that's just the process of building. Because you're probably never going to build the same one all the time. You always got something in your mind that you're going to change. So that's new, and there's a new process, and then you might blunder. But again, I think for Manny, after all his years of building, scared to blunder. Because if you blunder, so what? You're going to fix them. And Scott knows that too.
I have to echo that. I was very fortunate to also take lessons from Mike in the Ukulele Guild of Hawaii. And there are no blunders. There are just opportunities. Ways to learn how to do things differently. Or, in this case, how to fix a miscut so that it doesn't look like a miscut. That's why the inlay is right there. It wasn't pre-thought, it was, oops. But that's the beauty of it, because it makes each one unique. And so I'd encourage anybody who is interested in building ukulele. The Ukulele Guild of Hawaii has been incredibly gracious to the Hawaiian Music Archives project. They're the first line to look at all of the vintage ukulele we have to say, is it structurally sound? If we put tension on the bridge, is it gonna pop off? Is it gonna stay? So we're very grateful to UGG for doing that for us. And again, Mike is an outstanding teacher. So if anybody is interested, please check out the Ukulele Guild of Hawaii to learn, to grow.
So I got, this is my latest ukulele. And you notice here has a thick black, thicker than all around here. That's a blunder.
Oh, true confession.
But no look like one.
After 300 bills, there's still.
You still make mistakes. I still make mistakes. I'm not bragging. I still make mistakes.
But you learn how to make it beautiful around that.
So no skid.
That's
Got 'em.
good.
Let me check online. I do want to point out we have individuals watching from Malaysia. That PhD student who's going to come visit has been joining us. And if you think about the time zone change, that's dedication. And also, I'm very excited, and I hope he's still watching. Our friend Roberto from Madeira is watching, and the fates be willing, he's coming back for the International Ukulele Festival on July 20th to play, and then we're going to try and arrange some school trips as well. You'll be able to hear the music that the Madeirans brought over in 1879 as they transformed their indigenous machete into the ukulele. So it's an absolutely incredible experience. So please, if you can, join us on July 20th at Kapiolani Park for the International Ukulele Festival. They're starting to line up the talent. I believe Taimani is one of the headliners. So that is just going to be an absolutely phenomenal experience. And one of the things I failed to mention is as of this past September, the Ukulele Hall of Fame has transferred all of their records to the Hawaiian Music Archives. And so they have picked 2 more nominees to induct into the Ukulele Hall of Fame. And from what I hear, they are both local and they are both very well known. So I would encourage you, if nothing else, come just to see the induction ceremony because that is really, really, truly special. So any other questions?
I have one comment, and first of all, thank you so much, Uncle Kimo,
You're sure welcome,
and
Manny.
Uncle Manny, just for your generosity in time, for your generosity in sharing your mana'o, your ike, the knowledge that you have. One of the things that's been challenging for me growing up here in Hawaii with the ukulele is that I see all of these amazing builders, I see all of this knowledge, all of these opportunities to continue this legacy and perpetuate the culture of music here in Hawaii through building, right, through playing. And it breaks my heart to see much of that knowledge not be passed on. Because in Hawaii, we do not have that tradition so much so as a master and apprentice relationship as there are in other parts of the world, in lutherie, right? Guitar lutherie in particular. And so I think what's happening at the Hawaiian Music Archives through the work of Dr. Jansen, Jesse, and so many others at the team there is truly, truly remarkable. My question is, knowing now that we have a place that we are depositing this, even these recordings that we're having, we're depositing into the Hawaiian Music Archives for generations to come, for 100, 200, 300 years from now, people look back at these and understand what was a Pahu Kani, how was that, what was the nexus of his creativity, right? How is he coming about with these designs and so forth? And then also Uncle Kimo and his playing styles, I always thought that he was using more than 2 fingers. His secret is 2 fingers, but it looks like 6. So, you know, what, for a builder that's starting out, let's just say there's a high school kid, right? And he doesn't have access to your shop or coming out particular. Obviously, there's the Ukulele Guild of Hawaii. They can come out. You can find them online and Google Ukulele Guild of Hawaii. But for you, Manny, as a builder starting out, what would you say to that future kid that's really considering building that? How would you motivate that individual to take on that challenge and start that journey of building? We know we're going to make mistakes, but where does that start?
Starts within him with the passion. If he hasn't got the passion, he's not going to last. He needs the passion to continue the process of building. Some new builders I see, they only want to build one, and no interest, no passion. When I was building my first one, halfway through, I was buying equipment already. I knew what I wanted to do. And the wife was going crazy. She said, what the hell are you doing? But I know Lisi.
300 instruments later.
And I think one thing that I'm always fascinated with looking at all of these instruments, and I wanted to have you share a little bit about this, Manny, is I noticed that there are builders of all different walks of life that many they're not career builders, right? They haven't been building for 40, 50, 60 years. For you, can you share a little bit about the background that you have and how that came in and how maybe that affects a little bit of the creativity of what you do and express yourself through these instruments?
Well, I'm a retired sheet metal worker, and if you know the sheet metal trade, we make everything from a flat piece of steel, flat like a plyboard, but only thin out of metal. And then we shape everything, the ductwork, wherever we want the air to go, we make the duct go that way, out of a flat piece of metal. It differs from an electrician, a plumber. They go to the shelf and pick up a round pipe already made. We're like carpenters. We start from scratch, zero, flat piece of wood, flat piece of metal, and we shape it to what we want to. That's the difference between the trades. I only know carpentry and sheet metal that does something from scratch. All the other trades just buy them off the shelf. So the creativity, I think, starts from there. And to get a flat piece of metal to twist and turn in different ways takes a lot of thinking. They teach you in a book, but the book only goes so far. You gotta get something in there to go beyond the book. And everybody's different. Everybody has their own idea. Even building ukuleles and guitars, everybody has their own mana'o, their own design, the way they want to approach a problem or the journey. So it's very important, I think, to listen to the builders or the artists that's doing the work. Because you talk to one and you talk to the next guy, it's different. And all the information is good information, no bad information. So if a kid has a desire and a passion to go in whichever route he wants to go, if no more inside, no more, he's not going. I know for a fact.
Good for you, brother.
Yeah.
We're very lucky to have individuals such as Uncle Manny here, who is, again, absolutely fearless. Who puts a hole in the back of an ukulele? Yet it works. Who builds one out of corian? It sounds beautiful. And beach safe. Bonus.
Good fun, good fun.
Any other questions?
If you're wondering if anyone has ever built an ukulele out of sheet metal, we actually have one at the Hawaiian Music Archives that was built in the 1920s. Is what we showed it to Manny, and he started laughing. They used what for the tuners was
Wing nuts.
Wing
Wing
nuts,
nut,
yeah.
yeah.
They used a wing nut on the tuners. That thing not couldn't move.
Crazy.
But once again, the creativity of the ukulele is, we're looking at newer, more modern examples of that creativity. But the creativity of the ukulele has been something that has been around as long as the instrument has been around. And the Hawaiian Music Archives is a treasure trove of examples of what we see in contemporary times here through Manny's builds. And so it is such an honor that we would have Manny represent more modern times, the creativity that goes into the building, but looking back at our kupuna as well, and all of the people that have learned and taught before us, and what they had done in terms of expressing their creativity. Many of you in this audience here as well being builders, and the mana'o and the heart that you pour into your builds and the expressiveness that comes out is a part of that journey, a part of that story. And for us, we are honored to be able to capture that and to be able to share that with people now, but for generations to come. So much mahalo to all of you.
And I do apologize. We were so excited to get this started. I didn't formally introduce myself. I am Dr. Adam Jansen, and it is my honor and privilege to serve as your state archivist and administrator of the public archives. And we also have joining us is my brother, Sean Yakavone of Ukulele Friend. I am so blessed to have him as co-chair of the advisory council on the Hawaiian Music Archives project. If you know anything about him, you know how deep his knowledge and passion of ukulele are. So I couldn't think of anybody better, along with Jim Tranquata as the other co-chair, who is, his knowledge of ukulele history is encyclopedic. So the two of them are really the drivers of this. I just get to write the checks. So it's really the two of them that are the engine that makes this drive. So again, it's a community effort. They're not paid, yet he's here as much as I am. That's how much the community values what we're doing, and that really inspires us to want to do more. And these musicians, these builders, volunteering their time so that we could record this for future generations to help inform them, so that maybe there's a builder on the mainland or on the continent in Europe that's like, whoa, I'm going to try that. And then they continue to improve. They continue to innovate. That's how we move forward together. And I think you'll all agree with me, these instruments are absolutely stunning. So please, let's give a big hand to Uncle Manny.
Hey, Manny!
And to our very gracious host, Uncle Kimo. As I mentioned, this is hopefully the first of a series. So if you are close to other custom builders, if you have other suggestions on who you would like to see next be featured on this, please send us an email to musicarchives@hawaii.gov. And this is off of this session is off of our Facebook, Hawai'i State Archives. I want to let you all know that we're formally transitioning all of our music-related materials to Hawaiian Music Archives on Facebook. So we only have a single follower right now. So let's see if we can change that so that as we acquire new instruments, we get new donations, that's where we're going to be making the formal announcements, and all of these events will start streaming through there. But because of changes of policy, they will quickly be posted to YouTube as well under Hawai'i State Archives. So this will be saved in 4K. I want to throw a big mahalo out to our sound engineer, Jesse Shiroma.
Hey, Jesse!
He's the one who makes it really sound good. So we do like to kind of strip the songs out from all the talk so that we can start to build our own little playlist. So hopefully in the next couple of weeks we'll have that available as well. So on behalf of the Hawai'i State Archives, which is a division of the Department of Accounting and General Services, I want to thank all of you for coming here. And then I also want to thank the State Foundation for the Culture and the Arts for allowing us to use this space for free, because we have no budget. So having talent offer their services, a sound engineer run the board for us, gratis, the space, that's how we're able to do this. And so, you know, if we continue to have this support in the community, we will do more of these. So, and then of course, Sean, my co-chair, who's always pushing me to do more, I'm very appreciative of that as well. So again, thank you all for coming, and let's have some fun. Aloha.
Thank you, brother.